Hello you guys, and welcome back to Vlogmas Day 5. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking you guys through a beginner's leg workout that only uses dumbbells. So I know how difficult it can be to learn how to do all these leg movements. So I'm going to be doing a voiceover for all these movements. In my opinion, beginner's workouts are workouts with less equipment that require less focus on form. So things like squats and deadlifts with bars are extremely hard for beginners to do. So that's why I'm taking you guys through one that requires just dumbbells and obviously focus on form, but it's less form specific than the compound movements. So this can be used for advanced people as well. You just have to up the weights, up the intensity. This is perfect hotel home dumbbell workout, but it's also perfect for beginners. So I'm gonna drop some suggested sets and reps down below, and you guys can screenshot that, take it to the gym with you. Listen to everything that I say during the recording because I will have some tips on form for you guys. So anyways, if you guys like this video and you want to see more of my face, then subscribe to this channel. I have a Instagram at Fit by Indy that has a lot of workouts on there. So if you guys want some more workouts, then hit me up there. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the video. Let's go.
Alright, hello you guys. So we are kicking off this workout with some glute activation. So glute activation is essential, especially for beginners, because a lot of people are quad dominant and your glutes aren't getting used throughout the day. So you gotta warm up those glutes, get them fired up, get them ready to. So I began by using a band. I like to use a band because it adds some resistance and makes me really focus on using my glutes. So what I started out with was some squats. I really focused on pushing up through my heels, just really focus on that and squeeze your glutes at the top. Then I moved on to, these are somewhat of an RDL good morning, but the key is to really focus on the glute squeeze at the top. Don't lose tension in your hamstrings or glutes. Again, really push up through those heels. That's going to be the key to all these movements. Push through your heels because that's how you're going to fire up your glutes. So then I did some banded lunges, static lunges. With these, really focus on pushing up through the front heel, the heel that, not like your back heel is up in the air, right? So you want to push up through the front heel and squeeze the one glute on that same side, and just really focus on the squeeze. Sorry, that was a weird explanation, but really just focus on squeezing your glutes, firing them up, all that good stuff. So then I moved on to some kickbacks. You can do these on the ground, you can do these on the wall, whatever you want to do. I recommend leaning over and keeping your back as flat as possible so that you don't get any lower back tightness or pain, but really just focus on using your glute to push up. So for the warm-up, do about 20 reps of each of these back to back, and then take a little tiny rest, and then repeat it like 2 or 3 times, how many times it takes to get your glutes fired. So kicking off this workout, I started off with some goblet squats. So with these, you're going to grab a dumbbell and hold it like a little goblet cup in your hand. This is actually lightweight for me, but pick one that's comfortable for you. And you're going to sit back into your heels and then push back up through your heels. And see how I don't really let the tension loose at the top? Don't squeeze all the way forward. Just squeeze until the tension is about to release. So then I did some dumbbell squats with the dumbbell between my legs and just did some little pulses. So right here, you're just going to focus again on pushing up your glutes and keeping it low at all times. Just really pulse it out. I did about 12 reps of each of these. So right here, my boyfriend decided to get some really ugly close-ups of my knees, but we're doing some dumbbell RDLs. So here you want to hinge at the hips and focus on pushing up through your heels and your hamstrings and your glutes. Keep the tension at all times, so don't lock out at the top. Don't lock out your knees. You want them to stay slightly bent so you can focus on your hamstrings and your glutes. And then again, this is the Sumo RDL, so it's the same style movement, but you're going to widen your stance and point your toes slightly out so it focuses more on the butte. And yeah, you're going to be doing the same thing. Go down to about shin level. That's where the tension is just about to release, but it hasn't released just yet. Wowza. I don't know why I left this in here, but I thought it was kind of funny because, wow, Diego, that's my boyfriend. That was quite a close up there. But anyways, so now we are moving on to some dumbbell hip thrusts. You're going to want to take a bench and get a dumbbell, put the dumbbell on your hips. If this hurts, you can use a weighted ball or just get a pad to put underneath the dumbbell. But you're just going to want to put your back on the bench and you're going to want to push up through your heels and squeeze your glutes really tight at the top. Pay attention to how much tension I'm keeping in my hamstrings and my glutes. I added a band to add some resistance so that I would remember to keep my knees out. And then directly after doing about 12 hip thrusts, I moved into some abductors while in the same hip thrust position, and that just really burned out the side glutes. Okay, so this movement is actually very challenging. So if you can't even get out 12 reps or 10 or 12 reps per leg, that's okay. Do what you can. But this is a single leg hip thrust. It's the same style as the hip thrust that I just showed you, but you're going to be balancing and keeping one leg in the air. Really focus on pushing up through the one glute that's still, or the one foot that's still on the ground, and just squeeze that leg at the top very hard. So even advanced people have difficulties with this. See how I didn't put a weight on my hip? So you can add a weight if you feel comfortable enough with this movement, but it's a tricky one. Okay, so I already showed you some RDLs before this, but this is called a single leg RDL. You can do this without the box beneath your foot, but this is a variation that allows you to focus on only the leg that is on the ground. The other leg is just resting on the bench, and you are pushing up through your heel and the hamstring that is on the ground. This is, see how my toe is slightly coming off the box? That's because I'm only using that to balance and focus on squeezing my hamstrings and glutes in the one leg that's on the ground. So 12 reps per leg. If you feel up for it, you can get rid of the box and simply hinge at the hips and do it with a lot of balance, but for beginners, that's going to be more difficult. Alrighty, so we are moving on to another single leg movement. This is a step up. If you are a beginner, you can do this with a smaller box and without a weight, but if you are able to, definitely add a weight and hold it in your hands. But basically, you're just going to be lightly pressing up from the one foot that is not on the box. Do not use too much force to push yourself up from that foot. You should be using the foot that is on the box to push up through your heels and your glutes. So after doing about 12 reps on one side, move on to the other leg and do 12 reps there. I do about 3 sets for all of these movements, so in this case, one set would be 12 reps on each leg. Honestly, I don't know why my boyfriend kept filming, but this looked too funny to not leave in there, so I left it in there. So the last and final movement is also a single leg movement. This is called the Bulgarian Split Squat. You're going to put one foot on a bench behind you, and you're going to have one heel on the ground. The heel that is on the ground is the leg that is working. So that leg, you're really going to focus on pushing up through your glutes. It's somewhat like a squat, that's why it's called a squat. It's somewhat like a lunge, but really it really burns out the glutes and the quads more than a lunge and a squat does. So that's the end of this. I hope you guys enjoyed. The workout will be in the description box down below, and I will see you guys next time.